Hello everybody and welcome again to our third podcast. This time I'm very pleased and delighted to introduce a good friend of mine, Dave Doherty, who is the owner and proprietor of the company called Unbeatable Drains. I know him as Doc, so please forgive me if I'm calling him Doc during this. A lot of other people fondly know him as Doc. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dave. Dave Doherty, Doc from Unbeatable Drains. Thanks for coming, Dave.
Thanks so much for inviting us here.
Thanks very much for coming in, Dave. Yeah, I know we have a busy schedule as well.
Yeah.
Everybody we've had on has had a busier schedule, include myself. But I think it's important that we get some aspects of the business across.
So the last couple of months have been crazy since Christmas with the weather and so on.
I'd say they have.
We've been out the door, snowed under with work, and a lot of rain has fallen in the country. So we've been up and down the country, dealing with councils and domestic work,
record
and commercial
levels.
and crazy levels.
Yeah.
I don't think the country has seen water like this fall. You know, in my time in the drainage industry, and anyway, in January and February, that's for sure.
I remember the monster rain.
Yeah.
And back in the monster rain, believe it or not, guys, I actually taxied, and so did this gentleman here to start his business off. And that's how I know David as well as through my own brother. My own brother went to school with David, but years later I met David when he was out taxiing. I was taxiing. The economy was on its knees, and obviously for him to get his business up and running and to propel his business, he did a bit of taxiing. I did the same. Yeah. And it's funny how like both of us are developing our businesses, and we hinged a bit on taxiing. Now thankfully I don't do anymore, but I have a great respect for taxiing still.
So we were taxiing at the time. I was starting Unbeatable Drains. I had didn't have loads of money. Had a couple of classic cars. Was in the industry, in the drainage industry, a long time. And Unbeatable Drains, just to go back, Unbeatable Drains is just, it's trading just shy of 17 years now. And we started with one van, just myself, and we were going around basically saying that we were 4 and 5 men. There was only one of us.
That's marketing.
We were marketing the company. We were trying to get as much work done through the day, and then obviously things are slow as well, so we went out taxiing and anything at all, but the dream was to get Unbeatable up on its legs.
Very good. Sounds myself.
The taxiing went into the background then. Taxiing now is totally different to, the way it was then. Like,
Tell me about it.
The school runs just making 1,500 quid a week, it's crazy. Like.
I had a crowd over the other day. We were over for the rugby, obviously the Six Nations, and it was my first time on a match in ages. But like trying to get a taxi even afterwards, we let the traffic die down and had people over from ICS. Hello Pedro and hello all the team in ICS who come over, and all the sub dealers. We had a great evening out, and that's why my voice is a little bit hoarse as well from singing and shouting as well. So please forgive me. But we tried to get a taxi later on at night, David, and it was an absolute nightmare. All these guys, they're all using apps. When we did get a taxi, eventually the taxi broke down. It was a wet belt on a transit, which you have a large fleet. We'll get into that in a minute as well of transits. But it was really annoying. What really annoyed me was that these guys had their yellow lights on, and of course I had a few points on me. I'm getting tick with people because I'm saying, no, that fucker shouldn't have his light on.
And being a fellow taxi man.
And then of course, because a lot of these taxi drivers, they're not seen as being Irish, that you're being called racist. It's not. If he was Irish, I wouldn't care less. If the fella has his light on and he stops for a hire and he asks me where you're going, I say I'm going to Lucan, and he's not giving me a lift. Well, what you've got your light on for? Oh, I'm on the way to it. You shouldn't have your light on.
Exactly.
You should be reported.
Exactly. But sure, the taxi industry then, when we were in it to where it is now, we were sitting on ranks.
That's right.
At the time, I was a subbie now of Terranure taxis. And we used to sit in a rank over there, and you'd be waiting. Your call number would be 17 or 18, whatever your number was, and you get called to a house, you were brought whatever. There was no apps then, really, There
wasn't. There was that. Eventually, first off, I think you had that Hail. But there was only 250 taxi drivers on that. It was very limited at the time. Because I remember I used to do a figure of 8 all around Rathmines. Keep going around by the Bijou restaurant up where the money was.
I used to go. My route was down across Inchicore, down through James Street into Thomas Street, then down across Dame Street, back up Georgia Street, and kind of looping around all the time that way, waiting for that fare. And then figuring out the times of the quiet time was kind of 11 o'clock, where everyone was in clubs or pubs.
You go and get a coffee.
Go get a coffee, chill, and then back onto the road again till 3 and 4.
Did you find the people from the working class areas where I'm from Trimley, you're from Bluebell, they were the ones who gave you tips?
They were great.
Yeah, they were great.
I tell you what frustrated me, because have a few little isms. Was the banging of the door.
Yeah.
The banging of the door of a brand new car, and you're like, oh my God, this lad is absolutely hammered and he's going to get sick of the car. But you're like, that's what we were opening ourselves up to, going out taxing.
We could do a whole podcast on
taxing. Yeah.
Come here, that'll be another day. And in fairness, people will be asking, well, we aren't a taxi now. Like, so, look, I'd great crack. I met some great people through it.
I know some great lads doing it now, Brian. And do you know what? They're making an absolute fortune out there. And more be it to them,
Although you wouldn't want to be doing it now with the price of fuel with the way things are either.
Well, we're doing it. We're worse. We've a fleet of vans now and trucks. So the fuel has gone through the roof.
So let's get into the fuel has gone through. Let's get into how you started off. So what was the gig? You saw an opening, did you?
I saw an opening. So I was working down the country at the time. So I had a love for machinery. Always loved machinery, from diggers, the consoles, the breakers, you name it. I always had an interest in machinery. So I was down the country working. I came back to Dublin when I was about 18, 19. And I had a lot of experience in carpentry and so on. And at the time, there was a company up here in Dublin. They were looking for someone fairly hands-on. I went working with them, got a good bit of experience with them guys. I then left them and went to another company. I only lasted maybe 6 months with that company. And then I left them and went to a larger company. And spent a number of years there learning the trade.
Okay.
Knuckling down, getting it done. That company then unfortunately went under, and I took an opportunity.
Excellent.
I went to Mayo. I'll never forget it, I bought a 05 Transit, that had an awful amount of work to be done to it, but at the time my mechanic, Dave, put everything right. There was no money. When you get up and running, come back and see me. I went to England, I bought a machine, had it shipped over. Within 2 weeks, we were signed rated and we were on the road. There was no real websites then. Everything was still golden pages. You were still in that era of paying 20,000 notes for, a page in the golden pages and so on. So I was like, right, now there has to be another way than doing this, because we didn't have the money to put into that. So we started doing websites. So websites were out, but they weren't as prominent as they are now, with everyone on the phone and so on. And we put a good website together, and then we just went social media mad. Thru, at the time, would have been Facebook. There would have been no TikTok and Instagram really then,
so the name Unbeatable, where did that come from then? Because obviously if you think with Yellow Pages, down near the back.
Yeah, you would have been you. So where it came from, I was just one day sitting there, said we have to get something that's catchy, that'll, when it's up on the branding, and it's got to look really cool. And Unbeatable just came into the name, Unbeatable Drain Clean, and we'll beat the block. And it just caught on, and
excellent.
We signed the fan. We done different modules on the computer to what it would look like on the Transit. It looked fantastic, and we stick with the same colours since then.
And they are impressive looking.
Yeah, it's we have the orange now. It's backgrounded onto a purple, but that's fluorescent.
Yeah.
So at night time, it actually shines through, so you can still see the Unbeatable logo and so on. So yeah, no, it's been good.
But your fans are impeccable. I have to say,
I'll give you a laugh, because we as you said, because everything in it was alphabetical order.
Yeah, that's why I went
golden
Accura,
pages, right?
Because I was thinking Accura way being
ACC,
on the Yellow Page.
And I remember the company I worked for was a company called Accelerated, and they're well gone since now, since I set up. But they were the same thing. They had to be ACCE, so they were going to be first in the page. There was a company, a very, very well known company, and they had half a page and I had the bottom half. So basically, when you want anything, if you see the top page, you'll have a header, which will be the name of that company, and on the bottom of it was my half. But my number was prominent right down the bottom. So people just looked at the top, went down the bottom, seeing the number, rang the number. So that's gave us nearly 2 years of great business just on that half page, So we went from that then really into the marketing of the website and so on. And we've a great team behind us the last 15, 6. We've changed a couple of times providers. One guy just got out of the market, and then the next guy that we're with him a number of years, and he's just fantastic. Pretty good. It's great to do all our social media. He's on site doing a lot of camera work. So
that's fantastic. Your videos, I love the way it slows down, your slow motion and all. It's very,
so we've
very
two
good.
videographers that work with us. So we've Curtis that comes in and he does a day a week where he goes around and follows all the lads. And then we have a guy called Dan McGill. So Dan does a lot of the celebrities.
Oh, okay.
So he's all over, travels the world, and he loves working here. He's working with me the last maybe 7 years, and he never misses a Tuesday.
What's Tuesday?
He comes in on a Tuesday.
Oh, it's just good.
And no matter where he is in the world, he's been away with Snoop Dogg. He said, I have to get back. I have a job that I do every week with Unbeatable Drain Clean.
Come here, tell us, like, rats and stuff, like, I hate rats.
Yeah,
you know,
you're not the only.
It's a dirty business. You're going down, like,
yeah.
What's your, have you had experience of many
we've
rats?
we've had them jump out of manholes and so on. So now, if I even attempt to open a manhole, I always give it a slap with a bar or something, just to give them a fright, to get them out, because I'll be more frightened than they will.
Yeah.
But we've in our company, health and safety is a must. It's at the top of my agenda all the time. Safety, especially for my engineers that are on the road, the lads, because we've got a large team. So when we worked in the industry many years ago, there was never such thing as Wales disease. It was never brought up. Okay. And so on, you know. So we send all our employees up to the local doctor, who gives them a course of different shots to stop them, protect them against any kind of hep or, you know, Wales disease in the drainage. And we're always kind of upstands, you know, or we're always trying to how would I say
will you be more
protect
susceptible
the lads.
You and your game would be more susceptible to Wales disease.
Yeah.
I know golfers tend to, and canoeists would tend
with
to
water,
anybody with water, and it's I believe it's urine from a female, one of maybe 8
rodents.
I've investigated big time.
No,
any slightest cold or flu symptoms, you're straight away to a doctor.
So
Wales disease.
As I said, we've been doing that for a long time with all our employees. Like, health and safety would be number one. All our lads are sent on high pressure water jetting training. Okay. Which our industry is not like a carpenter or a plumber where you get your cert at the end of it. It's kind of, you learn it through the years, you know. But then they brought this out. It was a high pressure water jetting course. A company up in Ayrton Road, the UTS, look after all that for us. And they bring our staff through different various training for high pressure water training. And all our engineers then get a cert at the end of it saying that they're qualified to operate machinery of this calibre, you know, because water can cause a lot of damage, you know, especially at high pressures.
Of course, yeah.
So we make sure that all the lads, from that to confined space, to manual handling, safe pass, you name it, heights.
Because even a few years ago, like, even to be trick acting on the job where fellas be getting the lance and shoving up each other's arses and running high pressure water, like, and as well as air. There was one fella had his bowels actually twisted inside out, and it became a very serious court case. Then the employer was actually brought
responsible.
Responsible. Like that. That's the thing people don't realise. So you having to pay for the courses for these guys as well?
We pay for everything, like, you know.
And then you go up and live and just set up on their own or go work with somebody else. It's really annoying, isn't it?
Look, I don't take it personal. Maybe many years ago when lads were working for me and they spent so much money on them and you know they walk away, and like, I had lads walk away before, and 2 days before they walked away they went and got new boots and trousers.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it was just like,
I couldn't do it more if that was
no. I look, if I've ever walked away from anything, I always kind of shake a hand and I move on and I move in my own way then, you know. But look, that's just, some people operate like that. I believe in bad luck and good luck and the swings and the roundabouts, and it always comes around. But anyone that's gone into this industry that's left me, there's plenty of work out there.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
you know, and any industry, like, even including, you know, Dublin. There's plenty of drainage. There's thousands and thousands of kilometres of drainage in Dublin, and that's just one little county. Ireland's, you know. And
are you venturing outside Dublin much?
Yeah, we're all over the country now.
Are you?
Yeah, we're all over the country. So we're up and down the country. We're doing a lot of big commercial clients that we have.
Does that put pressure on your response time, though? You know, because in fairness to you, like, you've responded fairly quick even when I needed you.
My response time for anywhere is 2 hours.
That's very good.
For anywhere. So if it's Cork, I have a van moving straight for Cork straight away. Even if it's a truck job, I'll send a van straight away, so he's responding, he's on, so he's taking control while the truck is coming behind. But
you're not shy to get down and hold yourself either. That's the only thing I like about you, Dave. Like, you're actually you're in the thick of it,
I never shy away from a job, especially with the lads. If I'm with the lads, I'll be forced in. and I'll be last out. I just try and show example, but as well as that, I want the lads to see safety about how I do it, how I approach something when I come onto a site. And all of my lads are with me a very, very long time. A lot of them are friends. They're not just employees.
Like myself,
a lot of them are friends that work for me.
Have your family with you as well?
Yeah, I have my nephew Jonathan. He's with me since he's 12 years of age. He used to come out and van me on the weekends.
Is that the Scottish lad now?
No, that's my other nephew. He's with us as well.
He's a nice lad, yeah.
Martin. And so Jonathan's with me since he's 12 years of age. Jonathan's now 23 years of age. And he's just finishing up his college. He's had to be doing different things in college. And he's coming working with us now. Come
I have to
May.
ask you.
Yeah.
So with Jonathan, when he was much smaller, did you send down the smaller holes? A bit like Fagan.
Yeah.
Can he still fit down them holes?
Yeah, he's only a tin lad, you know. So he goes into the ones that I can't fit into.
You're not feeding him the fish and chips.
No. I eat his fish and chips for him, but no, he's a fantastic guy, great attitude. And I remember at the start when I had him, and I had only probably 6 or 7 of us working in the company at the time. A couple of guys coming to me, we're kind of babysitting this lad, you know. I was like, well, not really. We're giving him an education. He's a young lad coming in and so on. And, you know, by the way, we take a lot of kids on for transition year. So every year I have a new guy, if not 2 guys. So at the minute I have another guy in at the minute, an ex-employee and Wayne's son. He's coming in. He's fantastic, great young lad. Wants to learn, wants to be shown, and so on. But Jonathan, back to Jonathan. Jonathan's one of the. He's a leader in the industry now,
Brilliant.
And he's a leader in the company.
And you brought him all the way through.
Yeah, he's a leader in the company now. From the lads that did never want him, now the lads would always say, "Where's Johnny? We need Johnny," because he's one of the good guys that will get stuck in, get the job done right.
So it's a bit like Tommy Shelby, then your nephew walking.
Yeah. And then we're after taking my other nephew now from Scotland. He lived in Scotland, a place called Ayrshire. My sister moved over there 30 odd years ago. She's a nurse over there. And the opportunities just aren't there in Ayrshire. It's a very small place, and there's just not a lot of work. So we were back and forward, and he was like, "Look, do you want to come over and we learn the trade?" And so he's living with my mum. My mum lives alone. My dad died
remember that,
17 years ago. So my mum, we were always, everyone's in and out of the house all the time, and my nephew said he's going to come home, and it's great because we have a bit of somebody there with my mother in the evenings as well, and she loves it too. So
and you have the loyalty aspect. You have the loyalty aspect of it as well. Then.
And she mammies him too.
Yeah,
so she loves that too.
Yeah.
So he's over here now the past 6 months, and I can't see him going back to Scotland because there's so much more opportunity here for him, and a good guy, a listener. I have met with one of my senior engineers. He's actually my supervisor here in the company, Keith, and he's with Keith every day. And I think at the start when he went with Keith, because Keith would go on to the more complex jobs, the bigger jobs, the stuff that needs a lot of talk on into them and so on, especially safety end of things. He's been with Keith. He's like, I don't really think I'm learning stuff at the start. First couple of months, I said, look, you're only new. I'm actually sending you to the top of the scale rather than the bottom of the scale. So
he never did drains before?
Never done anything to do with drainage.
Very daunting, isn't it?
And I says, now you're at the top of the scale, and now you're going to work your way back down. And I'm going to bring you into the van, show you how unblocking and this and that and the other, where he was on truck work, relining work, robotic cutting work.
See, that's the thing. You do so much more than just do clean and drains.
Oh, yeah.
So, you obviously grease traps. You buy the vacuums off us for the grease traps.
Yeah, so we would buy all our vacuums off of you for going in, just into tighter places. The Dublin City is a nightmare. You can't park a lorry anywhere anymore.
I know, it's very hard against business.
So we can run into certain units with a wet vac, pull out 90 litres of grease, back to the truck, park the truck around the corner, suck it back in. And
is this just grease from restaurants, or do houses suffer with this as well?
Grease from restaurants have to be done. Fog, which is a city council thing, you have to be licensed as a restaurant to have a grease trap on site. It has to be cleaned every quarter or more, depending on how busy the shop is. And we take it away, we bring it to the local disposal centres. So we've been doing that for a number of years. Grease is a big thing for our company. We do a lot of restaurants, a lot of hotels, pubs, so on. Houses are starting to put grease traps into them in the new estates, especially in Kildare, because a lot of that stuff goes to pump stations and percolation areas. So the councils down there are really all about efficiency. Put a grease trap outside in the back garden. The homeowner can get it cleaned
And then
out
obviously
himself.
rat traps as well.
So on.
That stops rats coming in. And
yeah, so we do rodent investigation. So we have smoke testing units that can blow smoke through sewer lines to investigate for leaks, breaks, so on. And we have camera systems that can survey from an inch pipe all the way up to a 2 metre pipe. So we have robotic cutting units. And we've literally just recently purchased a new robotic unit for cutting pipes, for cutting concrete and steel inside 4 inch all the way up to...
So the operative's obviously back here. This travels down through the tube, does it?
Yeah,
and does the cutting from the inside.
So basically, if there's a camera on it, you push it in like on a kind of cobra rail. There's a cutting head on it. The camera's on.
Really?
You power it up under air, so it's all air hydraulically run. Cutters are on, and then you're moving it. It's to be honest with you, like you can get these things that the kids wear, the VR sets.
Yeah, okay.
And you can
like
actually
the Oculus.
two little remote chargers in your hand, and you're playing.
It's
It's like a game.
Like drones. So that's
It's crazy.
yeah.
It's fantastic.
Can't be cheap either, I wouldn't say.
That new unit we just purchased was €80,000 for that one.
And you have to be trying on that as well.
We were supposed to be trained actually yesterday, Brian, on it. There's a massive show going on here in Dublin this week in Castleknock there for it's the National Irish Drainage. They do everything from all different types of machinery, so it's a big showcase.
So do you meet up with all your competitors and all there?
Yeah.
And how does that go?
And to be honest with you, like Brian, like I've always played on my own, and I don't mean to sound like
No, I know.
that. I just play on my own. I work for several drainage companies in the country, and I provide them with the same service I provide you and anyone else. I've had several different companies come to me where I sub for them, and I could go out to say Accura Diamond, and Brian meets me and says, "Jeez, you know what? Why am I hiring him? I can just go direct with Davey." And I'm like, "No, you have to go through that company, and they come to me, and that's just how it's going to work." Yeah. Now, if there's a massive fallout, I will then go back to the client and I'll say, "Look, because I'm still working with them, my loyalty will always lie with the client. When you sign up with Unbeatable Drains, you get a little bit of me too. Okay, so you get the honesty, and you get me 24 hours on the phone. As busy as we are, I'm always on the phone.
Yeah.
If I don't get you, if you ring me and you miss me, I will ring you back within 5 to 10 minutes, guaranteed."
No, because the reason I'm asking, we'd have a couple of companies out there we'd call frenemies, and a couple of companies out there who we get on really well with. And like, if somebody rang me today, like for compressor,
Yeah.
I can go out and buy a compressor and put a margin on it.
Yeah.
But I'm wasting. It's not where I specialise in.
Yeah.
I'd rather say, "No, Dave, go down the road to such and such. Go up to Tom.
Exactly.
Tom and Metrics, he'd sort you out what they do, the likes of this or ladders." We don't bother. There's a lot of companies out there, unfortunately, don't stay in their own lane.
Yeah.
And what happens is then if you have a meeting, like we've got a meeting on now later on this month. We're out in the National Exhibition Centre out in Swords, and we're looking forward to exhibiting for a day for the hire end of things. But there's probably about 300 plus hire companies and plant hire companies hopefully are going to attend and more. But we're dealing with them all, these guys already. But we don't be greedy. We'd pass on an awful lot of stuff to these. So listen, we don't do contact such and such, and we get referrals back on that ourselves.
Brian, you're like me. You know, I always networking is major, but you know, being an honest networker, you know, and helpful. Whether you get something back over or not, you know. Sorry, I actually know somebody that can do that.
Yeah,
there's his number, there's his name. Tell him I gave it to you.
Tell him I get and they look after you.
And somewhere down the road, it'll come back some way, you know. So, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. It's always nice to be nice. The lot of lads in this industry, from owners to even employees, take it very personally. You know, they feel like you're taking money out of pocket. As I said at the start of this,
the market's big enough, it's a buoyant
there's
economy.
thousands of kilometres of drainage in this country, and there's enough for everybody.
And how much of that is fractured, how much of that has to be replaced.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bit like the water networks. We're supplying the likes of the Irish Water and the subsidiaries with power grid chainsaws for putting concrete pipe. It's much quicker. Yeah. You don't have to excavate down the steep brand, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. There's some great technology. Like I see them excavators going around now. The suction.
The hydro.
Fantastic.
I've seen in 20 years, a couple of guys, Mark Ryder had one of the first ones I was saying. Yeah. He had a fantastic job. Like, it doesn't damage cables or anything either.
No, and I'm seeing them more and more. Like you might have seen one probably one every 6 months. Now I'm kind of seeing them once a week. Like there's obviously a massive industry for it.
So the savage war coming on, as you can see yourself with these bus corridors. Will you get calls on that? Because will they damage or will they hit? Do you think substructures underneath?
You can guarantee a lot of stuff still in this country is clay. you know, so on concrete, so any kind of ground subsidence or movement.
Any big jobs you remember you were on? Like, what's one of your favourite jobs you were in? Any stories from one of your favourite jobs you were on?
Well, I'll give you a job I was on there recently, down in Eglin Road, which is just across the road for, is it Eglin or Raglan?
They're all around the centre.
Yeah,
the money houses, as they call
the
them.
money. Or this house was money. This is only
It's all Balls Bridge.
It's only going back to January. It's across the road from the American Embassy, and the guy rang. He says, "I have a bit of water in the house," and I said, "Look, I'm in the area." And at the time, I was actually on the road because we were heavily flooded, so it was all hands on deck. And I just spoke to the girls because we couldn't get around the city with traffic. Everything was stopped. I said, just leave vans in every area and just let's walk out of what we can, and let's keep the trucks closer to rings end so that we have to empty the lorries, we can get the rings in
by the
quick.
way, your trucks are something else, by the way.
Yeah.
The Terminator, is it?
Yeah, Terminator is one of them. We have Rocky and we have A-Team.
Love the names.
And my daughter's kicking me now at the minute because we're big Shrek fans.
Oh, okay.
Massive Shrek fans in our house. And she wants a truck with Shrek on it.
Okay.
So, you know.
That's your next one.
Possibly. There is a truck coming for next year, another truck coming for next year. So we've been growing year on year with lorry ends and things, you know.
Sorry, Dave, I took you away from Eglin Road there. But
so we go back to Eglin Road.
Yeah,
so he rings me. I have a small drop of water in the house. Now I'm literally around the corner. I'm at the RDS, the side of the RDS there. I was doing a job there again. Couldn't do anything. Houses were flooding. The mains were backfilling into the house. I said, look, there's a van sweeping boy. He has a pump in it. Just plug her in, bit of lay flat hose, just throw it out onto the road. It's water. All you're going to be doing is recycling it around until the mains drop. He was delighted. Van got him sorted. Around to the next job. I had a small bit of water in the house. I went in, he had a basement. I could see that much to the ceiling. The whole bottom of the house was flooded. He was only at the buying it. He was at the paying massive money.
Really?
He had a pair of Brian O'Driscoll's boots of his last match floating around in there. He said, there's a pair of boots in here. He says, they have to be found. He said, we'll have to get them cleaned there. My pride and joy. He had a lot of stuff in a room where memorabilia stuff just absolutely ruined. So, in fairness, we got the water out for him. It took a lot of tankers. A lot of loads.
Did it?
Oh my God, we were there. We were there nearly 2 days emptying the house.
And what would it cost that flood, Dave? Like,
well, the mains was overloaded. We had a couple of
so flooded off his house, off the street.
It came from the main and just came back into every spore that came into the main and filled up every house along the road. But this house had a basement, so it filled it even more. Where any house was kind of on ground level was half okay. The other houses that had basements, they were just absolutely destroyed, you know. So we got to the bottom of it, we got the water out, we were delighted. He was absolutely over the moon with the service, and we didn't think we were going to be there that long because we were trying to get to everybody.
Yeah, okay.
Because, you know, everyone's panicking and you're kind of listening to calls, and I'm back and forth to the office all day. So look, you've got to be, you know, if we can get to it and we can do it, you need to listen to what the customer's saying, and we'll respond. If we can. If we can't, we're just going to have to give them some sort of solution over the phone, get a pump the water out until the mains drop, and then we can go back in and we can clean everything, get everything.
And on a job like that now, are you charging by the hour, or are you charging per job?
Yeah.
Can you claim it back through their insurance?
Yeah, so there was insurance. Believe it or not, this guy, a lad arrived on a motor scooter, and he was the insurance guy for that.
Really?
Yeah, he had to come. Yeah. So the house would have been insured for crazy.
The house probably about 4 or 5 million, was it? Maybe more.
Plus the VAT.
Plus the VAT.
Plus the VAT.
Jesus,
you know, it was.
Can't afford
it was
that, can we?
it was 23% VAT as well. It was a very expensive house.
And you probably would have felt a bit sorry for your man afterwards.
Did, and you know, I went above. I had a heap of stuff to do that day, and I just seen him. And in fairness, he was the most calm, relaxed guy I've ever met. His name was Rory, and he was the most calm and relaxed guy I ever met because his whole world is literally underwater here.
And in fairness, Dave, you have that empathy, because another thing I want to talk about is the charity side of things you've done, because you don't make a big deal of this because you don't want this being spoken about. Obviously, you're going into Our Lady's Hospital with eggs. You did a campaign for a girl who lost her house and the kids. Yeah. You raised serious money for that girl, in fairness, with through your campaign. So give us a little bit, what makes you do that kind of...
I get goosebumps. Yeah, no, it's not for that.
No,
it's definitely not for that. I get goosebumps. I don't like talking about things like that. I like to help people. I like to be around people, good people,
goodwill,
and I like to help people as best I can, because, you know, I wasn't like us all. We didn't have millions growing up.
No.
So if there's someone there that's in need, and I can do just that little bit, and I believe if everyone can do just a little bit,
pay it forward a little.
just a little bit, the world will be a better place. And we do stuff with the children's hospital. We still do it. We used to photograph it back in the day, put it on socials and all.
During COVID, you didn't remember?
Yeah. So COVID was the doctors and the nurses. So any drains in their houses that were blocked, we just done them all for free.
Fair play to you.
We've always dropped Easter eggs into the hospitals at Easter time for the kids. Then we have the cancer research place on Crumlin there, and the Ronald McDonald House.
Yeah.
So we would drop in toys. There'd be children there they wouldn't have long left. So there's a room in there. It's like Smith's, and people come down and they donate different brand new gifts, toys that children didn't want at Christmas, and they put them in there. And when a child is literally really sick and having a really bad day, they bring them down to this room and say, take whatever you want.
And obviously you can't do this on your own. You get help from your team, your wife.
Yeah,
and
my wife's a massive help,
yeah.
and my office team is a massive help, and the lads are a massive help, especially when it comes to this kind of stuff.
And it's not something you see down on TikTok. This is something I brought up because I've seen you doing it personally.
Yeah.
I've witnessed you.
Yeah.
Where's your vans?
And we're doing something else now at the moment for a school up in Kingswood. There's a sensory room there at the moment, and it's in Doyer.
Is it?
And we were up doing a job, and I was walking in, I was talking to the principal, and he says to me, he says, look, this is the sensory room. I was like, oh my God, it's terrible. And there was kids coming in and out. It was like a sweet shop. There was kids coming in. There was a blanket in the corner, a couple of things. Like, they're just so underfunded, the school is. So at the minute we've just raised just over 8,000 on a GoFundMe.
Oh, very good. And can you do that on your TikToks? Because your TikToks are all very good. Like.
Yeah, no, I haven't put anything up on the TikTok. This is just something private I'm doing on the side, and we've raised 8,000. We're going to plan on leafleting every house in Kingswood, and over next weekend. And my lads in the job, we're going to give a leaflet out to every house with a QR code, and if every house gave €2, no one 20s, no one 50s.
How much is needed for this, do you think?
So the school, we've gone and got prices. It's €17,500 for this, to put this room right. The school have €7,000, so we need €10,500.
That's very good, yeah.
So
you've got 8 already, so another 2.5.
Yeah, and I've a couple of lads there that have held back, and they're waiting to get the money up there first, and then they're going to donate. So we're going to go way over the target, please God, and get the kids an essential room that they need, especially for children with autism, and not just people with autism and ADHD. My own child, Eva, has ADHD, and it's good to give back to kids, not just kids that have that, but kids that are coming from problems in the home, or a death in the home, or something else that's going on in the home.
It's going to be used
and
for
it's
far
just
much more.
Far much more. Children can just go in there and be a child.
Yeah.
For half an hour. Just let the child chill, relax, and go back to class, and it makes a better child, I think, out of them than coming home to their parents and whatever's going on and so on, So there's that, and Andrea was another big thing we done. Andrea lost her life from cancer, and we done a massive thing for her. Now that was heartbreaking for us all in the end. But we got what we wanted, and we got serious numbers for that. I think
she actually died in the end of the program.
She did, yeah.
Oh,
she was she was on RTE. She was at the fighting cancer several times.
Because you were meant to hit so much, but you raised so much.
We kept raising it and raising it and raising it. We just kept hitting the target and just going again, and it was great because she's a very young daughter and a young partner, and it was great just to be able to give them a kind of a.
Just don't know how lucky we are, do we? At the end of the day.
Well, your health is alright,
So with that, then obviously we come to watching a bit of TV. What do you like to watch?
I'm in the middle of watching the Kings of the Mayor of Kingstown.
Oh, it's very good.
I'm in the middle of watching that. My mother-in-law's on it me all the time to start. There's a new one on, I think Legend or something like that. She wants me to watch on. And I've watched all the Yellowstones.
Well, Marshall has started now as well, by the way.
I'm letting it build.
Casey, yeah, no, it's good. I watched one the other night as well, but a little bit slow getting into it all right.
Yeah, I'm letting that build because I'm going to Wexford now the weekend. This is a place I love. It's a place that it's very close to me, and I love going there. I have a lot of friends and family down there, and We go down and we just chill out.
You remind me a bit like your man Charlie Mullins, the secret millionaire fella. With his vans, Pimlico Plumbing. I saw a programme with him years ago and he was all plastic face. I'm not saying you're plastic.
Not yet.
You'll get there. But he's a great setup with his plumbing business, and he makes the lads. He's got his own fitting crew, like he's so into the detail of the vans and all.
So much.
Have you seen that programme? It's fantastic.
I've been watching them on social media. So his sons are involved.
His helicopter now.
Yeah, his son is involved, and then I think his son's son is involved. So they're all running it, but they're very sharp in how they dress, and everything is about image from that to going into a customer's property. The same way we are. We're Unbeatable Drains is the most highly rated drain company in Ireland.
Yeah,
on social media,
I'm sure all over the place,
and all our Google reviews. You're always going to get one or two bad ones.
How many vans have you in the fleet?
I don't know, a lot. I actually don't know anymore.
Jesus, someone else looks after the fee.
Yeah,
well, there you are. You're up there then with Charlie. Then that's the case.
We probably have we'll be coming up on 17 or 18 vans.
Yeah. Now they have to say they look fantastic.
Then we have a few lorries and. We've a lot of fleet of diggers and trailers and dumpers and consoles, breaker. We've everything. So I'm the type of guy that if we need something, we buy it. We don't rent it. We buy it.
Yeah.
Even if we use it once and it doesn't pay for itself, it'll wait and we'll get another job somewhere. It'll pay for itself at the end, but we own that. That's ours. It's in our war chest.
Not going out a day. It can't go out.
No, it's in our war chest. And then there's no job that we ever come up against that someone we say, "Jeez, we don't have to do it for that."
Well, in fairness, you get the best of gear off us.
I do all the time, and again, like if we need anything, we come up here. We've all hold saws for drilling in different things.
Con saws, your vacuums.
I have my brother-in-law's working with us. He's a fitter by trade.
Yeah.
So he worked for A to Z Hire for many years.
Okay.
In the fitting end of things, and he wanted to change many years ago, and he came working with me doing the drains, and we brought him through, kind of apprenticeship, if you want to call it that, with the drainage. So he's very handy.
Brilliant.
He comes back and he fixes things in the yard. He's just, he's great.
Oh, come here, if you weren't doing what you're doing, what do you think you do, or what would you like to do besides this?
If I wasn't doing what I was doing now, I'd probably be doing taxiing now.
Would you still do it? You would,
yeah. Well, what I'm hearing now in the industry, it's lifestyle. Everyone wants a bit of lifestyle. Everyone wants to be able to go home and not anyone ringing them and annoying them and so on, especially being a business owner. It's always somebody niggling on a Friday at you about something, or it could be staff, it could be a customer, it could be just something that's gone wrong, it could be the accountant, it could be anything, and these scale runs, there's other different things going on. Just you get your wage over and you go home and you're happy and there's no pressure.
Before we go, I'll give you a quick laugh, a very funny story, right? So when I started taxiing, I get into something with deep feet, I got the cards done up. But I have a buddy of mine who's still working with me now, right? And his phone number was one digit away from mine.
Right.
And when I went to get the cards done up, I got a photograph, and the Jeep at the time was the only Pajero.
Pajero, silver.
Silver Pajero.
Yeah.
I loved it now.
Yeah, it was
Mitzi, and I looked after it well, right? It was a nice job, but it only carried 4 passengers, so it wasn't a case it could carry 7. But it was funny, right? Because Richie is the fella, he's going to laugh when he says this. I got cards done up with his number instead of mine. So my number is 086 882 1234.
Yeah.
Richie's is 086 882 1235.
Yeah.
But I'm so used to ringing his number because my best mate, I bring him twice, 3 times a day. I'm in and I'm getting them printed up, and I got 50 done up, and just to hand out to people. I got them done up, and I had my number. His number.
Yeah. I never
and I give it out to people. Right? I was coming towards Christmas when I was mad busy, couldn't get anybody right. He was going with this girl. He's married to her now, they've kids, thank God, and she happens to be a guard, right? And he's only with her a few months at this stage, right? And you can imagine he's getting phone calls 2 o'clock in the morning. When there's hello, is that Richie? Or hello, is that Brian? No, it's not now. Who's this? Oh, you dropped me off earlier on. She's thinking he's going over all these different queer ones and that. He was getting calls for 6 months from people. And this one was pregnant. I'm pregnant. But then I had to laugh. And we still laugh about it today. So it's just one of the funny stories. But we used to meet up in the garage and all with other taxi drivers, and you'd swap stories and some of the laughs you'd have. But then there was some unfortunate events happened in the taxis with fellas getting jumped on and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, no, we've heard of a few stories. Lucky. Yeah, no, I was always lucky. I never had any problems in the taxi, thank God. And here, you know, during COVID, another great thing came out where they had to put these dividers up, which was great because it kept the driver safe as well. Because there is
100%
an element of people that will want to do something like that or do something. You wouldn't mind if you jumped out and ran. Or if they put something to the neck, because
a couple of runners, all right. You had a couple of runners on me. Like they were gone, and then you know it's not even worth chasing. Still,
no, definitely not.
I wouldn't be the right shape for doing all that running down lineways and all that. Just leave them at it. There,
100%, 100%. No, but
well, Dave,
thank you so much for.
I want to thank you for coming in. Thanks for sharing your profile because I think it's important. It's linked to our industry.
Yeah.
And I know you're getting more into doing the civils and the things, and God knows what way you'll go in your course. And fair play to all your charity work. All the work you've done, your team, your family. Fair play to Dave.
Thank you so much.
Keep it going, and thanks again for
always responding.
Thank you so much.
Always, thank you.
Dave.
Thank you.